All right, we're back for a round one game of GPT. So we have Slice the Simp, aka Requiem, versus Dravos. Uh,
Yes, so Requiem's on green white tokens,
you mean Creature Vomit?
and Dravos is on. Oh yeah, however you want to call it, and Dravos is on Temur round.
Yep, the same deck that I'm running.
So I there's a bit of a dichotomy here where Dravos is playing 8 drops and Requiem is playing 1 drops.
Hey, technically Raise Reinforcement is a 4-drop.
Sure, we could say that.
And like, if
Um,
you look at the average mana cost of each player's hand, Dravos is actually lower right now.
that is true. So
Yeah.
we see in Requiem's hand they have 2 critical companions. I think this is the kind of key card in the Creature Bomber deck. Just arguably one of the scariest turn ones in the format. If you can't answer it immediately, just a ridiculous amount of mana
Yeah.
on a 1 drop.
Well, actually, does Slicer Simp have creatures to turn on this Critic's Companion?
Oh yeah,
Okay,
turn 1 critters, turn 2 critters, Sufu.
right.
I don't think this is a kind of weird hand from them because Ray's reinforcements is really weird and like volatile. Even before the nerf, now it costs mana. Um, it was like pretty volatile. So like if one of Requiem's creatures dies, these Ray's reinforcements are very slow.
Yeah, and Dravos mulligans down to 6 and keeps, and they bottom away for a shrine, which makes sense. But they have a hand without 1-drop, so that might be a problem. Like,
Yeah, but they're on the play and they do have Zubaji. And I have to imagine
they have
for
Drubadia,
sideboarding, Zubaji is their best card in the matchup.
they have Drubadia plus Verdant Sanctuary, so yeah, they can do the Drubadia thing where you just pull a bunch of lands out of your sideboard and go up to 8 mana super quickly. So then it's up to Slash the Simp to overrun Dravos before Dravos can like get up to Tyrant of Tribute mana. Like they can get up to Tyrant mana on turn 5, I think, right? Just turn 2 Verdant Sanctuary, turn 3 Drubadia, turn 4 pull out 2 lands, activate Drubadia before you do that in order to machine gun down a bunch of guys, and then resolve a Tyrant next turn.
Yeah. One of the things about Coda's Companion is that very much so it doesn't let you play that much removal because you need to play so many creatures.
Oh,
Does hit a Overgrowth Guardian off the
okay.
top, which is a good draw, I think, mainly because it lets them fetch Mozkef on turn 2 while still emptying out the hand.
Yeah. Like Curse Companion into Overgrowth Guardian. That's a classic creature vomit curve from before the deck was nerfed. Like before the nerf, you can curve Curse Command into Overgrowth Guardian and then cast Endless Helpless Souls on turn 2 after already dropping so many creatures on board. But like, what's the top end for the deck now? Like, what's the thing you ramp into on 3? Do you have anything to ramp into on 3?
Well, in this case, they can just grab a Mozkef, and that will serve as their functional top end against the deck without a Mirrorgate or any kind of clean way to wipe the board. Whereas Juvashi does definitely help, but not going to be able to do quite enough to doubles reinforcement and Requiem having 5 creatures on the board turn 2 before Juvashi is even in play.
Uh, is Slicer Sim going to save the second Curse Companion for adventure?
Can't imagine they would.
I mean, like, okay, so you have Sufu, which you you want to draw some cards off the ability, right? But if you play out your hand beforehand, then you're not drawing any cards off of it.
Yeah, Sufu is just like very weird in general. I don't think you want to try and keep it in hand. I think you just play it out and just goes for like raised reinforcements. Because if you don't play out Sufu, you can't actually raise reinforcements, right? Or
Right.
you need to like hard pass it.
Yeah. Well,
Uh,
actually, you can go Overthrows Guardian and then ramp into Curse Companion Adventure on 3, or I mean for 3 mana.
yeah, but that seems kind of bad.
I mean,
And you
it
definitely
gets you Razor
can,
reinforcements next turn, right?
but yeah, but you can't fetch Mozakef.
I mean,
And
you're not. You can the multi fetch can wait, right?
well, no, because you need to spend your play out your fetch to play the 3 drop.
Oh, right. Okay, so Dravos is gonna twist the Masswork instead of Burn Sanctuary. Huh, that's interesting.
Deciding to go for the yeah, I don't know. I suppose you play this archetype a lot.
Yeah,
Is that
no. You're. I feel like if you have Drubadia in hand and you know you're playing against a deck that doesn't have a way to remove Verdant Sanctuary right now, you should just slam Verdant Sanctuary and then try to go for a Drubadia Rampant to Tyrant plan.
well? If you hit a wait, how does the sequencing work on this? Can you sequence like
If you top deck a land, then
I
yes.
guess you can't really go Verdant Sanctuary into Jubaji Demigod, right?
You can't.
Or not well, at least.
Oh,
Do you
Paris
need?
Paragon. That's gonna be pretty helpful. That's another top end.
Yeah, two excellent draws off the top for Requiem here.
Might actually not be fast enough though, because I think Dravos can still get to Tyrant mana even with this weird play before Slicer Sim can kill them.
Yeah, but
Oh, they're not fetching
it says
Mozgaf.
not to go for Mozgaf.
But well, okay, so
Or
they're gonna play Paris Paragon. Wait, oh, okay, good. I think they made the correct play here.
yeah, I think if you don't fetch Mozgaf there, you're just not gonna be able to win the game fast enough.
So Dravos has 2 turns to deal with the board before Mozgaf gets to 5 counters and kills them.
Yeah,
Or, I mean, gets to 10 counters.
it's. I think it's also gonna be a bit interesting to see if Mozgaf maybe can get there in a late game scenario, just because these reinforcements are kind of castable.
Well, right, yeah, because I remember playing pre-nerf Creature Vomit, and Mozgaf sometimes just won the game, or lets you win the game even after your board gets cleared multiple times, just because it keeps ticking up, so any token makers you draw off the top becomes super threatening.
Yeah, and I don't know if Tyrant actually comes down fast enough here without like another ramps card off the top.
Oh, that's not a good thing to top deck, because now you can't play an untap land after Drubagia. Well, actually, no, it doesn't really matter, because you weren't playing Burn Sanctuary anyways. No, wait. Okay, yeah, this is really bad for Dravos.
I mean, Shrine is a fine draw, right?
It's a fine
Like,
draw, but it doesn't, it's not fast enough.
oh, the complaining of the Mulligans. Well, I think you just never were fast enough, right?
Are you saying, or are you assuming
Because
that
like if you
Dravos?
don't play if you don't play the Master Rook on turn 2 here, you just have the Sanctuary play Jubashi, you're going up to 4 mana,
Yeah.
which seems not fast enough. And then you got up 6 with Jubashi.
Well, on that turn, you get to machine gun down things with Drubagia, though.
No, because you're still playing Jubashi this turn.
Okay, so assuming you didn't twist the Master and you played Burn Sanctuary on 2, on turn 3, you played Drubagia, play out a land, and then the
Here,
turn
turn 3 being
afterwards.
this turn.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Um, so I don't think it really ends up mattering how they sequence this.
Yeah, actually, yeah, they can
'Cause,
activate Drubagia and play Burn
well,
Sanctuary in the same turn next turn, so they can try to do some damage.
like I think this line might have been better than going for Masterwork, or than going for turn 2 Sanctuary, because you can actually draw decently. Oh, Gillo.
Oh,
Gillo is spooky.
oh boy.
Um,
Oh, that's
let's see a creature
good.
off it.
Well, I mean, on the bright
Uh,
side, I don't think
it is,
Dravos is lethal, right? Because
yeah, it is. What? Yeah, and here's double raise reinforcements.
hmm, oof. Well, is there?
And yeah, just doesn't. And Dravos is just kind of dead here. Don't think they have any outs. Especially
Yeah.
with Gillo giving trample.
Well, I mean, Drubaji can kill Gilo, right? Next turn.
That's true, but I mean, you need to spend resources to do that. I mean, I don't think there's any top decks that work here.
Maybe a fetch land or something like that.
And well, now with Parish Paragon, it doesn't even
Oh yeah, right. They have
too
enough
bad
mana
he
to
doesn't
play
even kill.
that. Okay.
Yeah.
Creature vomit, doing creature vomit things.
And of course, if Dravos had any type of interaction early on, or like a turn with Primal Surgeons or whatever, so this Zubashi does stuff, then this game looks entirely different because these reinforcements are stone uncastable.
Yeah. Unfortunately, their
But at
opening
the
hand
moment,
had Primary
Dravos is just
Surgeons, but nothing to back it up with. So yeah.
yeah. I think the mulligan on 7 from Dravos was fine. Triple Primal Surgeons, Seek of Untouched Beauty is not really where you want to be. Though maybe if you have some more like matchup ideas, you can keep that and say, I'm not winning this matchup unless if I have this much ramp. Because that's like a turn 3 tyrant almost, right?
Yeah.
Is it just a turn 3 tyrant?
They're
I
not
guess
attack.
not.
Wait,
Turn
what? They're
4.
not attacking?
It doesn't matter. They only have 4 attackers here.
All right. Let's see what Bravos is gonna top deck.
So moving on to sideboarding.
Okay, sure.
um,
Let's look at.
Requiem has nothing, I think. There's
Let
some things they
me.
could add in, but I don't think you maybe ostracize the orb or something.
Okay, yeah, they conceded. All right, so yeah, let's pull up the deck lists for sideboarding. So Requiem.
Uh,
Uh,
I feel like generally don't want to sideboard that much in Creature Vomit just because like they use every single one of their cards in that game.
yeah.
Um,
Well, in that case,
And
let's look at Dravos' side.
but it is possible Requiem does side some things in here. On Dravos' side, imagine what solar flares.
Yeah,
You want Earthbreaker.
and you board out the
Uh,
Reclamation Grove Sculptor, and I guess probably with some of the Recall Forgotten Aeons because that's a bit slow. And
yeah, maybe Scion. Scion seems a bit optimistic.
I guess, yeah. I mean, they can chump block, but if they're chump blocking, then you've already won.
Yeah, there's a couple of different ways you can do this because I mean maybe Vinic Sanctuary isn't that good in this matchup, though. Granted, the entire deck is built around it, so maybe that's a
Yeah.
wrong way to think about it. Because
Oh,
Scion does actually kill fast, so
also, I remember like placing Creature Vomit with Rampant League, and I was kind of disappointed that there's no good Twisted Masterwork target that I can put in the board for this matchup. Like, I remember asking you for a green red creature or a Twisted Masterworkable creature that would deal 1 damage to everything on board, and turns out there's nothing like that in MSEM.
well, I mean you can definitely find stuff, but it's just not green.
Yeah, so
Um,
like it's not Twisted
like
Masterworkable.
if you didn't have 6 basics in your sideboard, maybe you'd be able to sideboard some answers for this matchup. Huh?
Yeah, but hey, uh, look, drawing 6 cards is better, or some of the time drawing 6 cards is better than having an actual sideboard. Like 4 solar flares is good enough, right? That's my hedge against
Yeah, I
aggro.
mean, if you think about it, Voting Sanctuary is actually a stream site, right? A free enough stream site draws you
Yeah,
6 cards. Dravos Do Not Side Out Zion has a
I,
interesting draw.
I think you keep this.
Yeah, you definitely keep this. Sequencing is a bit interesting because you don't have the RP on turn 2.
You just Twisted Masterwork.
Requiem has
Oh,
Plains Triple Silent Wanderer on those decks
well, wait. Why did they mulligan that? They could have gone to turn 1 raise reinforce or turn 2 raise reinforcements, right?
with a single Plains.
Oh, right. It's not free anymore, right?
Plains is notably bad at casting green cards.
Okay,
Cousin
they're gonna.
Mulligan this.
Okay, I mean this.
This is a pretty good 4, I guess. About
Did
as
that up
good
to
as
4
4s
now?
can be.
Oh, right.
And yeah, this is definitely something that happens when you put Silent Wanderer and Raise reinforcements in your deck.
Now I think about it, like, does the deck need to run raise reinforcements? The modern version of Creature Vomit.
Yeah, I personally wouldn't. Just because it is so reliant on Critta's Companion to like do what it's meant to do. But we saw in that previous game, wow, Raise Reinforcement is not only is I mean it's basically pre-nerf, right?
Yeah,
Because you're untapping Critta's Companion, which makes 2 mana. But the kind of weird thing about Raise Reinforcements in the even the pre-nerf deck is that it's just very awkward a lot of times. Where
yeah,
in the pre-nerf deck is overkill even.
and also it blocks your Gilo flips. Like, I remember flipping so many raise reinforcements off Gilo.
Yeah, I think I played again when I played against this version of the deck in League that happened. Um,
Yeah, but
and admittedly, just hardcasting is actually pretty reasonable, especially with Mozekef, but it's still a 4-drop, right?
right.
Um,
Well, in that
I don't know what
case,
you'd
like,
replace it with, but
right. Okay. Uh,
um,
is there a good replacement?
I mean, I think you'd probably just go like more typical aggro stuff because what the original creature, well, not original, but second version of Creature Vomit.
The 8
Um,
collected company version?
yeah, was it 8 or 12? I forgot if Seek was in the first round
Oh
nerfs.
yeah, it
But
also played Seek, so that's like, yeah, that's 12 collected companies.
but that version deck ran the sack hexproof indestructible guy.
You mean
Uh,
Daisy or
no, the one on white.
Indomitable Bear?
It did run that, right?
No, I don't think it ran Indomitable Bear.
No, the counter guy.
Oh yeah,
War.
yeah, Underpass set, no. Yeah, it ran that card.
Yeah, exactly. Where you can just maybe have more like normal aggro deck stuff. So going back, so I think that's a other way you can play this. I think I'd prefer that just because going turn 1 Critters Companion is already so good. So having a card that relies on turn 1's Critters Companion is kind of
Yeah.
at least personally.
Well, let's get back to the
But
game. So Dravos is on
but
how many mana right now? I lost count.
they're on 6. Requiem not draws, drawing over Guardian, which will let them raise reinforcements on turn 2.
Oh
Yeah.
dear. Oh boy.
Won't let them. Oh, they grab Mozgov. No, never mind.
They can still tap Critters Companion. Oh, right. It's like,
Ye-
yeah, it's really
Um,
awkward with multicolored cards.
Yeah, I don't mind this line. Just because I think it's fair to assess that Mosgef is really important in this matchup. Or I think really important in the deck in general, just because you don't have that much pressure, or like big anthems, and you can raise reinforcements on the following turn. Like, even just Alpha Strike raise reinforcements works.
Well, Dravos top second their land. So Dravos did use their Twisted Masterwork to get an island. I'm not sure how to feel about that because like they could use Twisted Masterwork to fetch out one of their 5 drops, which would have at least won the game a lot more. Like they can fetch
They
out
did draw
Reclamation
this
Grove.
Cataract, right?
What?
They did draw this Cataract, right? So they
Yeah,
didn't have blue mana for this offie.
but like they
Mhm.
still had 6 mana that turn, right? 1, 2, 3. No, they only had 5 mana. Okay, yeah,
Yeah, this is turn 3, right?
yeah, it's turn
It's
3.
always weird doing the amount stuff. They do have Scion here, which will at least block, but
I think the play here is Alexa minus to get back Twisted Masterwork.
and then would you play Master here or just hold it for like Tyrant or something?
And hold it, and then hold it next turn.
You have Tyrant?
1, 2,
Oh, you're one
3,
short.
4, 5, 6, 7. I mean,
You're one short of Tyrant next turn.
you can pull up Big Slug, which also does a pretty good job of coming up the board.
Yeah, but you could also just like play both your lands, play Scion next turn, Coalesce Offie.
Or no, you get Twisted Masterwork so you can pull out Reclamation Grove Sculptor to turn off the Mozikev.
Wait, didn't you say that you're starting out?
Wait, oh right, I forgot. Yeah, no,
in this matchup?
you do not set up Reclamation Grove Sculptor in this matchup because it hits Mozikev. Yeah, hopefully Dravos didn't, or Dravos realized that you're not supposed to side it out.
So the other thing that I was looking at for just Masterwork to grab in this matchup is Field Tender actually.
I mean,
'Cause-
the problem with Field Tender is that you pay a lot of life in order to use it.
Yeah, but it does get you a lot of life because I mean Requiem's on 4x ones.
Well, the thing
There's no
is,
way
like,
to remove the Field Tender.
if all they have are X1s, you're fine, right? It's when they draw their payoffs that you're worried, and if that happens, Field Tender is not going to help you.
Well, I think in this case that's only Gila, right?
Right.
That actually buffs the board in Requiem's deck, or in Mosgef, but you can jump Mosgef, or
Right.
hopefully jump Mosgef.
Okay, yeah, maybe Field Tender would also be pretty good. So Dravos is definitely thinking about what to do with Alexa. They're gonna.
Well, I mean, they could also just slam Scion, and I think
Can they slam Scion
Cataract
right
on
now?
tap means just slamming Scion.
Wait, why do you have 2 mana floating right now? Oh, right. The Farm
Because of the
Resurgence.
triple Farm Resurgence.
I did not notice that. I thought they only had 2 mana, or they didn't have any floating mana. So wait, what? Do we need to do the judge call right now? Huh. Well, yeah. So for those of you at home, Crimley Shrine is not a forest. It'd be great if it was a forest because that would make the card way better, and it would actually see play in decks, or it would see play in decks that would run Lumbering Hillock. But unfortunately, only Lumbering Hillock is a forest, so you can't do that.
Yeah, I imagine this is their thought process here was grab a tap land and then they'll play. Oh wait, and then play Alexa. This is kind of a weird line, even if Shrine was a valid grab.
I mean, like if you have the opportunity to grab your mana land, might as well do it, right? That's what I usually think when playing this deck.
Well, maybe, but like I don't know about that because the 2 life here does feel like it matters.
Yeah, probably does.
And you like have plenty of things to do between the Offie and your Auto and Alexa -1 such.
I mean, worst case scenario, you can even Alexa -1 on the RFE to recast it. Or can you? No, you can't. You have enough mana to do it on the turn.
Yeah, but I think I don't. Depends on how this issue will be resolved. I presume it'll just go back to the before the fetch is resolved.
Yeah, it's
So
probably
it is a bit.
there's no
annoying.
information about the decks, right? So you can just rewind to explore.
Yeah, and we're in the middle of shuffle anyways. So
Yeah.
but I feel like the best line is just playing Scion and then Alexaing for Masterwork next turn.
Or
Does that give you enough mana to do stuff?
So
to find what you want?
So you play Scion, like you hard cast Scion this turn, and then next turn you play out Alexa. So what you have?
Yeah. So this Shrine will be an untapped land. You'd play your worst because you have 2 land drops on the offie. You tap out for Scion, and then next turn you empty-handed, but you have a draw, so it's still Alexa -1. And then you have 4, 7, 8 mana. So Alexa brings you down to
6.
6. You discard your draw step. Twist Masterwork
Is
for Grove Sculptor.
I guess
Turn
that
off MSEM?
works. Yeah, that probably works.
That feels like a pretty smooth line.
Alternatively, if they brought in Earthbreaker Behemoth, they can use that. They can also twist a Masterwork for that.
Yeah, I mean, Earthbreaker is also main deck, right?
Yeah, that too.
Is there anything weird you could do, like with Alexa this turn, grab Jubaji
Can you grab Drubagia? Do you have enough
off the
mana?
Masterwork?
Do you have enough mana for
Like next
that?
turn.
Or
Yeah, I guess you don't actually have double red source. Wait, hold on. Do you have a second fetchable red source
you have a mountain?
off of a cataract?
No, you only have a basic mountain left.
So yeah, that doesn't work because you. Oh wait, hold on. No, because you're master working out the Jubaji, so you still have the red source left.
Okay, so
So if you imagine the crumbling shrine is Slumbering Hillock, you play Alexa here, discard
Scion.
Scion, I guess.
Yeah,
Get back Master. I guess if you're doing this way, you play the Forest over the Cataract, so you have multiple land drops for Zubaji Demigod.
right. Yeah,
Then you hold your land drop here. You have exactly enough mana to go Masterwork for Zubaji Demigod, and then without playing your land drop.
and then so that's like at least 3 Drubagia bolts, so that blows up Slicer Simp's entire board.
Yeah, but not after raised reinforcements.
Yeah.
So that would be a losing line, even if it does look Weasmal, because Mozgef would be activated next turn. I think the Mozgef would be lethal.
Yeah, so like I think
even through the double maybe triple bolt.
So yeah, basically the best line is to just deal with the Mozikef, because that makes Slicer Simp's board a lot less threatening. And it seems like the Judge has been resolved, so we're gonna rewind that action. Let's see if Dravos fetches the right thing.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the line is here, because I feel like in most cases, well, I suppose, yeah, I'm not surprised that though, even beyond like the Crumbling Shrine not being a legal fetch target, I'm surprised they'd be wanting to fetch a tap land here.
I think they're just taking the opportunities to fetch a tap land because they can't think of anything better to fetch, or they're not doing anything else with their mana.
You fetch a untapped land here so you can play Scion, right? Because you have the extra land drop from Offie.
I think they're planning on playing Alexa this turn, and that's why they're like they have the extra mana lying around, so might as well fetch. Although if they're doing that, they should have just like fetch end of turn instead of fetching now. I don't know what they're doing.
Well, they played out the Forest too. Yeah. So pretty sure that the Forest play is legal because of Harvey.
Okay, yeah.
Which is good because it's really bad to get 2 game rule violations in a single turn. That would kill you out of the tournament.
Well, no, not you still have one more game rule violation that you can make.
Yeah, but you're gonna do that on the next turn if you do 2 in one turn.
Yeah, so they're gonna play Alexa, and I guess discard Silent Flourishing.
So
you get back Masterwork.
Yeah, but like just so I feel like you discard the Forest, not the Masterwork, right? Oh, if you top deck a land here, you can Masterwork with Tyrant.
Yeah,
is that the play?
Of course, like if you don't top deck your land, then you Masterwork for Recollection Grove Sculptor. So like no matter what happens, you have a good Masterwork next turn. Slicer Simp playing out their zero drop.
I feel like fetching Grove Sculptor is so sad.
Look,
like,
you match the
works,
turn off your opponent's Mozikef. Like that's good enough. And then if it survives the turn and attacks, then you get to master your opponent.
Like obviously Dravos doesn't know about the raised reinforcements, but like it just feels like you can do better than Grove Sculptor.
Well,
Tyrant does win here, right?
Yeah, of course it does. It's Tyrant. Can they twist Masterwork and Solar Flare?
Well, they can't fetch Tyrant, so and unfortunately the Nebula is not basic, so Big Slug doesn't cheese them a Mozgef kill here.
I think you're just forced to Masterwork for Recollecting Grove Sculptor and help your opponents to top that Gilo or anything.
Yeah, I suppose that Solar Flare is a good draw. If you as far as draws that don't get you Tyrant are concerned. I suppose most things are good draws.
Yeah, compared to top decking Verdant Sanctuary here or something.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, Verdant Sanctuary would be I think the main bad draw.
Also, Prime Resurgence. Like you do have 1-mana ramp spells in your deck that you need to.
Well, okay. The one Firewall Resurgence left in deck. Yes. Hold on. This is 4/6.
Oh.
So wait.
Does Dravos not notice the
right?
Mozikef? Yeah, maybe they boarded out Reclamation Grove Sculptor, like I absent-mindedly said.
Maybe. Yeah, but they're just dead.
I mean, if they match like top deck and tap land off recall, they could have held up Solar Flare at least.
Well, they're dead even through Solar Flare, right?
Yeah, probably.
Requiem's board is like 27 just off the Mozgov, even ignoring actual power.
Actually, if they flip a land off the Crumbling Shrine, yeah, there we go. Now you can actually hold up to Solar Flare.
Okay, so kill Critter's Companion, and then you get attacked for 8 things. One is blocked, so Mozkev kills you by itself, even without the power on board.
Yep.
Um,
What was Dravos hoping to top deck there off recall?
well, I mean, if they don't have a good masterwork target, there's kind of mute.
So yeah, I'm assuming either they boarded out Reclamation Growth Sculptor or they didn't realize that Growth Sculptor could hit Mozikev.
Yeah, but they are just dead here.
Unfortunate.
I feel like even if you started out Rose Sculptor, you still do have lines that are safer than the whatchamacallit.
RFE?
No, than the line Dravos took on the Alexa turn.
Right, yeah.
Because it feels like that line just kind of because that was hold on. I guess I mean we do have the knowledge of the raised reinforcements, right? Which was still in hand at that point.
Yeah, but even if you didn't, I still think it's a better, or you had a better line just not doing whatever Dravos did there.
Yeah, because like you have a Tyrant, but like you don't have any cards in hand. Like most of the time you win, but like there's just so many draws that are bad for you, and you can't whiff twice. Because the Mozikev is going to kill you.
Yeah.
But if you just played Scion, then I think you're always good, right?
You still had access to Twisted Masterwork, right?
Yeah, you play Scion, and then you have Alexa's your only card in hand.
But you can always Alexa back Twisted Masterwork if you need to, and then the turn afterwards you can Twisted Masterwork for 6 to get you Reclamation Growth Sculptor.
Yeah, I think even if you fetch Earthquake, you should be fine. Because in order to, I guess, Requiem doesn't actually need to attack to raise reinforcements because of the Critter's Companion.
Yeah.
So they just raise reinforcements, and then you Alexa Masterwork, grab Earthbreaker if Growth Sculptor's in a thing. The Earthbreaker kills something. Requiem has what 8 things in play, 7 things at the Earthbreaker.
Yeah.
So you're still dead if you
Yeah.
don't have Growth Sculptor. So maybe that was the best line if you don't have, or if you don't realize or you started out Growth Sculptor.
Yeah, I think what happened was Dravos didn't realize that Mozikev was a thing, because looking at chat, they were definitely surprised about the kill.
Yeah, Mozikev is kind of insane in general. The entire cycle of lands is pretty unreasonable. Well, besides the red one. The red
Really?
one's no good.
And the green one? I mean, I don't think people play the green one.
The green one's kind of absurd.
What is that?
Like, people don't play it, but
It's
it's the kind
called?
of thing that is... But it's the kind of thing that's like, is this really fair in modern Magic? I think, mind you, I think all of them except the red one are banned in MSCDH. So
Let me try to look up what
DH is different beast. The green one is tapping lands instead of attacking with creatures.
Oh right, yeah.
On tap, sorry, land.
I see. Right. That this card. Okay, yeah, that definitely
the
does
blue
seem.
one is a time twister for yourself and triggers on casting non-creature spells, which has seen some play. And then the black one is Critical Corruption, which triggers on creatures dying and lets you reanimate a full graveyard. Can be opponents even. That sees some play. And then the red one needs you to take damage 10 times, which is difficult. But yeah, Mozikev is good. Very impressive. Requiem did multi-4, which was unfortunate, but they did hit about as good as multi-4 as you can possibly get.
Yeah. So what they
top deck very well as well.
Right.
Because like they even had the choice of going for turn 2 Mozikev or turn 2 raise reinforcements.
And they correctly decided to go for Mozikev because it's more guaranteed to be good, I guess.
Yeah. And raising reinforcements doesn't even necessarily win you the game. Though I think there's a decent chance it does. But yeah, not the most interactive game or set of games.
I mean, that's what I would expect from this matchup.
Yeah, it does go quite differently if Dravos hits a Soulflare in the opening hand or has anything for this matchup.
There's still no good targets for this, or I still can't find a good Masterwork target for this matchup.
It turns out you can play cards that aren't fetched by Twisted Masterwork.
But then you only have one copy of them, which you're never going to draw.
Yeah, but I mean, you run more than one.
But then there's no room in my sideboard.
Yeah, because you have all these basics in the sideboard. But I mean, Meteor Harbinger is a pretty good card. Is an easy example. You can also just run actual Wraths if you want, because actual sweepers, you're on red.
Yeah, Child Range Rage, but
Yeah, or the power instant speed power Cosm that makes a treasure.
right, that thing.
Yeah, I think that's enough from us.
Well, we'll see you next time.